Lead attorney, chime in on this. Men with a lot of options are not in a rush to pick one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a tough one. Um, I don't, I don't, I don't know. I think that we need to really define, we need to first look at the options, right? Because that's pretty broad. I might disagree with this actually, because
Come
usually,
on.
I know. I try to call it fair, guys. I know. Here's the thing. All right, everybody get ready to call Lee a simp, okay? Here's the thing. I do not think that the vast majority of men have a lot of good options. I think a lot of men have a lot of options. And if you just want to say options, okay, fine. There's a 7 over here, there's an 8 over there, there's 3 more 7s over here. All right. But let's say that you got like a 9.5 or a 10 that just kind of walked into your life, especially, and I'm not just talking about the looks, because like, okay, looks, whatever, when you're 24, boy, looks mean a lot. When you're 44, you're like, come on, like you gotta, you you gotta bring, you gotta come with it, right? And what you realize when you get older is that this options thing, which you're not looking for just options. If you're serious about your life, if you value your time, it's not just an options thing. What you want are good options. And what you start to realize as you get older is honestly, there's not a lot of great options. There's a lot of options, but a lot of great ones. Most of the options that I think we've been talking about thus far is, oh, well, I could leave it or I could take it. Well, that's not a great option to me. If you can just leave it or you can take it. But there are a lot of times in life, and I'm not just really talking about women, this really translates to anything. If you're a baseball, you're at the bat and it's the World Series and that pitch comes down, you got a lot of options, a lot of balls to swing at, but that good one, maybe you can hit a home run. Shout out to the Atlanta Braves, World Series champions, right? You got to turn on those, or in business. If you're trying to buy a business, and there are a lot of businesses you can buy. But if you happen to stumble on one and it's low price and you start doing their due diligence, but then other companies are sniffing around, you got to jump on that thing. You go, oh, I'll come back next year. Next year it ain't gonna be around. And so when you like, it's the better the option, kind of the more you need to be in a rush to get it. I don't want to cap out here. I don't want to have a damn room full of men. Oh, there's so many tens walking around. It's not true. It's just not true. So, if your options are 6s and 7s, you got 1,000 of them. Well, you don't need to be in a rush. It's always going to be 6s and 7s walking this earth. You'll come back next year. It's a ton of them, right? But if you're talking about something, some business, some baseball pitch, some woman that is like really good, that really lines up with your values, that has the stuff that you need, you got to go get that. You got to be aggressive with that, because let's not sit up here and lie and say that, oh, we all got a bunch of 10s that we can just pick up or turn down. Wednesday, Thursday, 2022, they'll be around. So maybe I'm overthinking this, or maybe I'm adding a little bit too much nuance in this, but I want to call stuff fair, and that's how I see it.
The lead attorney, I'm not going to even lie. You made a good point. You definitely made a good point. I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, damn, that's the reason why I love shows like this, is you get different perspectives, because I never did look at it like that. But that was an excellent point.
Thank you.
Dr. David, men with a lot of options are not in a rush to pick one. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think as you have options, it's because you have done something with your life. And if you've done something with your life, you have a lot to lose. So having a lot of options means you got a lot to lose. And let's face it, particularly in the Western world, marriage can be a very risky endeavor. So you have to tread caution. If you have a lot to lose, you have to tread cautiously as you move into that. I don't think you have forever, and I think that becomes a problematic mindset to think that you whenever it is. But I do agree that the options that you have typically when in your 20s are not going to be as good as the options as you advance more and you get about your purpose. I come from an African bounce mindset, so we are not viewed as successful people until we have family and we have children. That's a big part of who we are, and that's a big part of our cultural upbringing. So that's something that we focus on. So once you reach the point, and this is the African man's mindset. Once you reach the point where you have enough resources to provide for yourself and potentially a family, within 5 years, you should be either married, engaged to be married, or in a long-term committed situation that with a woman whom you can say, yes, I want to make her my wife. I intend to make this woman my wife within 5 years or so. But that's going to only occur when you've reached that point where you can, and that could be until you're 30. It could be in your 20s. It's for different people. It's going to be at different times. But you do have a lot to lose. If you have those options, trust and believe. You earn those options. Those options didn't come. Nobody handed those options to you. You earn those options, and you owe it to the people who helped you get to where you are to make that decision properly, because that decision is going to weigh a lot on your life and weigh a lot of the people who've been standing behind you from the beginning. So, you have to look at it very carefully and in my case prayerfully, and tread cautiously. Because you have a lot to lose, and then men should not trivialize it at all. Marriage in the Western world, you got a lot to lose, especially if you have options. So you cannot just play games or take it very, very lightly. Yeah, something that you have to tread very cautiously. However, you don't have forever to do that. And if you meet someone and God brings you someone who is just an indispensable asset to your life, that's someone who you lock in, because that person is part of your purpose and part of your destiny and your mission to maximizing your potential.
I like that, David. Man, you guys give us some great perspectives. Rilla, men with a lot of options are not in a rush to pick one.
I'm going to throw a quick curveball, because I think what everybody's honing in on, and I don't have much more to add, is that we're talking about the vetting process, because the one thing that we kind of left out was, Pookie and Ray Ray got options too. They got plenty of options too. They knocking down plenty of options, right? And they not in a rush to pick. We just saw that kind of play out the other day, right? On IG Live. I thought about my time in Atlanta, and I refer to it because it was a place where I became a man. There's a lot of brothers down there living a free agent lifestyle. A lot of successful brothers, a lot of well-to-do women. But those brothers, it's a lot of brothers that are just not in a rush.